of people won't shop in charity shops because of the smell. My mum, for example. Why on earth would you want to volunteer there, Amy? I tell her it's for experience, that it's hard to get a job without experience, and how are you supposed to get experience if you haven't got a job because you've got no experience? She just says, but the smell, Amy, you'll come home smelling of Febreze and old ladies. My mum has a pathological fear of old ladies. It's because she is one. I mean, I don't tell her that, but seriously, she's what, like 60? 62? Something like that. She was well older when she had me, like already in her 40s. The other kids used to ask if she was my nan. So yeah, she's pretty old. An old lady, but she doesn't smell. I think it's a myth. The old ladies smell, I mean. Everyone who works here is old, and honestly, none of them smell. Even Gladys. That's her name. Isn't it just so cute and old-fashioned-y? Gladys, she's 84. She just sort of smells of talc and, like, Persil or something. It's nice. I like it when I'm on with her. She's always singing. And she lets us put on the shop CDs and we have a right good sing-along. She loves a bit of Dizzy Rascal. No, honestly, she does. I say to her, what are you, Gladys? And she says, I'm a rascal, Amy. A Dizzy Rascal. And you should see her dance. She's got the moves. Eric makes us turn it down. He's the manager. He's old too. And I'll be honest, he does smell a bit. He has this, like, brown cardigan thing with these big leathery buttons down it. I'm pretty sure he just nicked it off the men's rail one day and never put it back. Anyway, I've never seen him without it. And it just sort of smells of, like, cigarettes and cooking. And those buttons give me the creeps. I'm not phobic about buttons. No, because some people are. Honestly, we used to have this big jar of buttons on the counter, like spares. Oh, it had some really cool antique ones. Anyway, we had to move it after this lady came in and started proper freaking out when she came up to pay. Honestly, she was like proper hyperventilating, waving her arm at the button jar. I thought she was going to faint or something. We had to sit her down and give her a cuppa. I mean, I thought she might be doing it for attention because she looked like the sort, but turns out I googled it and it's a real thing. Calma something or other phobia. Anyway, I'm not phobic. It's just those particular buttons on that greasy cardigan. Oh, and his fingers are yellow, and his teeth. The button jar lives behind the counter now. You have to ask if you want buttons. Catherine says it's political correctness gone mad. She's another volunteer. I tell her it's just buttons. She says it's buttons today, and before you know it, no one's allowed to call a spade a spade. Don't really know what she means, but she voted Brexit, and she speaks really slowly and loudly to Wahida, who helps out on Saturday, so Gladys and I don't like her. Wahida's training to be a nurse at Northumbria. She's a right laugh. I think she might be Gladys's favourite, but I don't mind. Wahida is brilliant when the drunk duo come in. The drunk duo are these two ladies who drink in the pub over the road. I'm a bit scared of them, if I'm honest, because they've been known to kick off, like, over nothing. Anyway, they come in around lunchtime and they're already absolutely hammered, so God knows what time they start drinking. And they just kind of, like, stagger around the place, bumping into people and stuff, and kind of giving us running commentary, like, this would look lovely on your Sue, wouldn't it? Only she's fat now, ain't she? Massive fat cow. Honestly, that sort of thing. Oh, and when they laugh, you can hear the phlegm sort of like crackling and gurgling. It's minging and so loud. And now they stink, like really stink. Sour, like sick. Eric hides that back when they come in and I kind of hold my breath so I don't have to smell them. But Wahida is just mega patient. They love her. She'll make a great nurse. So aside from Eric and the drunk duo, shop doesn't really smell at all. I mean, doesn't smell like Topshop or Primark or Lush like Hollister or, well, Lush. But my mum's wrong. It smells okay. And you get the odd tissue in a pocket, or sometimes if you're lucky, a tenner. But most of the time people wash their stuff before they donate it. Oh, I love a fresh bag of donations. Honestly, I think it's my favourite thing. Not my favourite thing in the whole world. That'd be sad, wouldn't it? And actually, I think my favourite thing is probably putting together the outfits for the window. Yeah, that's my favourite. Catherine always wants to do it. She's very controlling. And she always charges loads for Pa'una stuff. She's always like, oh, look at this. Pa'una. I love Pa'una. And she pronounces it all foreign-y, like she's actually French or something. I'm like, mate, it's just Marksies. Literally just Marks and Spencer's. She says you can feel the British quality in every garment. Pretty sure it's all made in Pakistan and Bangladesh these days, but I actually saw a documentary about the garment workers out there and it was not good at all. Second-hand is fashionable now. All the rage, says Gladys. Love her. Sustainability, that's what it's all about. We've had the odd fashion vlogger in doing their little videos about how they've given up fast fashion and gone all ethical. To be fair, some of them are really good at putting outfits together. And it's really nice for the charity to get a mention on Instagram. Gladys loved it when I showed her. I tried telling Mum about the environmental damage being done by the fast fashion industry. She just said, "You know what David Attenborough, Amy?" It's pretty lame if you ask me. And besides, we get some really lovely stuff in. There's this lady, I think she might have a problem, but anyway, she always drops off this amazing designer stuff. Honestly, like Prada and like Louis Vuitton. Honestly, first time I saw it, I couldn't believe it. Gladys says she's a regular. I saw her drop off a bag once. She didn't even look rich. She just looked like us. Gladys thinks she's a serial shoplifter, but who around here sells Prada to steal from? I mean. She once bought in this gorgeous Victoria Beckham dress. I wanted it so bad, but it was like a size 6 or something stupid. Sold it to Anorexic. That's not a real name. Well, Anna is. We don't know what her surname is. We only know she's called Anna because we overheard her on the phone. So we just started calling her Anorexic. She's so thin. That's terrible, isn't it? It's really bad. You shouldn't make fun of eating disorders, and I wouldn't usually. I just really wanted that dress. Dead men's clothes. That's another thing my mum always says. They're all dead men's clothes, Amy. Someone could have died in them. And maybe some of them are, but not all of them, I don't think. I can be sure as I can be that no one's actually died in any of our clothes. I mean, they wouldn't do that, would they? Take the clothes off a dead body and give them to charity. Surely that's not a thing. I'm actually going to have to stop thinking about that now. I think I've freaked myself out. There was this one time, though, that we got dropped off this bag of really old stuff, like 50s dresses and like a proper nice tuxedo and shoes, leather dancing shoes that have gone all hard and old. And you couldn't even get your feet in them. Honestly, I tried and my feet are tiny, size 4. Oh, and there was this lush little clutch bag all covered in these tiny pearl beads. I mean, the satin inside had sort of rotted, but there was this like silver compact and some rusty old hairpins. And I was like struggling with the compacts, and Gladys came and took it from me. Her fingers were a bit gnarly, I think that's the word, gnarly and stiff because she's so old. She like really struggles with buttoning up the blouses sometimes, and her texts are hilarious. Anyway, she took this little thing from me and just dinged it open just like that. "That's a trick," she said. I mean, she didn't notice it had spilled ancient old powder all down her cardi. She just sort of got transfixed, holding her breath. And I was like, Gladys? Gladys? Because you don't know with old people, do you? It could have been a stroke or something. And I was a bit frantic trying to get Wahida's attention. But then Gladys started to breathe again, like a sharp sigh in and out. And then she said, just for a moment, she said she'd seen her reflection. And I was like, well, yes, it is a mirror, so. But then she took my hand, she held it quite hard, and she said, I saw me as I was, as I used to be, young like you. And I don't know why, but I started to cry then, for Gladys, even though she was fine, hadn't had a stroke or anything. But I could just see her and her young man, whoever he might have been, dancing around in these beautiful old clothes, like an old-fashioned film, and I could hear the music, like proper dance music, not like crappy shop CDs, not Dizzy, like an orchestra or what's it called, like big band music. Honestly, I could really hear it. And then Gladys was saying my name like I'd said hers. Amy. And she called Wahida over, and they were both staring at me like, well, I don't know. And I was like, I'm fine. Really, I am fine. I felt like I made a massive fuss, like the button lady, a big drama over nothing. And then Gladys said to me, "What are you, Amy?" And I said, "I'm a rascal, Gladys. I'm a dizzy rascal." And she patted me on the hand, and she picked up the tuxedo and she kind of held it against herself and she just started dancing. And then Wahida picked up one of the dresses, this like all blue net chiffon, and started dancing. And I was dancing too in the salmon pink dress. And we were just all together dancing in these dead men's clothes. You know, those clothes did smell a bit, actually, of dust, of wardrobes, of memories, of old ladies and old men, and they made the shop smell. And you know what? It was bloody lush.